ଆଉ 2-4 ସେକେଣ୍ଡ ପରେ ଆମେ ଷ୍ଟାର୍ଟ କରିବା। We'll give time. Maximum by 1 minute. We'll start. Okay. ଆମେ କାଲି ଡିସ୍କସନ କରୁଥିଲେ communication skill ଉପରେ. What is communication skill? What are the different types of communication? And what is the process of communication channel? We discuss all these things. What is the process? What is the type? What is the concept of communication? Then today we are going to discuss one interesting topic, which is feedback. Feedback तमें तुम्हारा day to day life रे, तुम्हारा workplace रे, तुम्हारा घर है, feedback दो तो. You are giving feedback, you are receiving feedback. What do you mean by feedback? We'll understand different types of feedback. What do you mean by feedback? How you give feedback? What is the importance of feedback? We'll understand that. First thing, what is feedback? Feedback means suppose ତମେ ଗୋଟେ କାମ କରୁଛ and you are getting some comments, some response, whether good or bad or something. That's feedback. ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ତମେ ପାଠ ପଢୁଛ, ପରୀକ୍ଷା ଦଉଛ, you are getting some feedback. ତମେ ଘରେ କିଛି କାମ କରୁଛ, ତମର ମା ବାପା କି କଣ ତମର ଗୁରୁଜନ କିଏ ତମକୁ କିଛି କମେଣ୍ଟ ଦେଲେ, whether you are doing good or bad, that is feedback. It could be written, it could be verbal, it could be. In communication, we learned a little bit how to give positive feedback, all these things. This will learn, will understand that in feedback session. But feedback means any comments you are getting out of your work, your performance, your contribution. So that is feedback. Suppose ମୁଁ ତମକୁ ଏବେ କ୍ଲାସ୍ ନଉଛି, ତମେ କିଛି comment କଲ, କିଛି କହିଲ, if I am questioning, you are answering. That means you are giving feedback. If you are not giving, then you are listening something. I'll understand something. It could be your verbal or written. Sometimes you are giving in chat box or messenger. So the way you express your feeling on certain thing, that is feedback. It is a helpful information or criticism. Suppose मैं जो criticize करते जो कमेंट करती जो criticism pass करती that is also feedback. Helpful information or criticism that is given to someone to say what can be done to improve the performance product etc. Suppose ତମ ଘରେ ତମର mother ସବୁଦିନ ରାନ୍ଧନ୍ତି and you are observing continuously that he uses less salt. ସେ ସବୁଠୁ ଅଲଣା କଲି ତମେ ଗୋଟେ feedback ଦେଲ then your mother is trying to change that ଅଧିକା ଲୁଣ ପକେଇଲେ then you are getting good taste. So you are giving feedback. What you observed and she implemented, then you got the result to improve something, improve the taste, whatever she is preparing. And you are giving that feedback to improve that. The transmission of evaluative or corrective information about an action, event, process to the original controlling source. You are actually giving feedback for anything. It may be one act, that is action or event or process or something, someone is telling something, someone is expressing something. Suppose you have done a project, your teacher is giving some feedback, your teacher is giving some input that how to improve, what to do, that those are feedback. We'll understand the different types of feedback, how to give feedback. You are observing in your society. Some people they accept feedback very positively, some people they don't. Suppose ତମକୁ ମୁଁ ଜାଣିଛି ତମ ବିଷୟରେ ମୁଁ ଗୁଡାଏ କଥା କହିବି 10-15 comment I will give on you. Maybe I am wrong. Maybe I did not observe you properly. I am giving, but you yourself, when you are evaluating yourself, you know a lot of things. You can analyze that. Out of 10, whatever I said, maybe one item or two item are correct. So you can accept that two item. That is called positive feedback or acceptance of feedback. Suppose you are accepting that. So rest 8 and 9, whatever is wrong about you, you can ignore. You can, but one thing what I said may be useful for you. So if you are not accepting anything, maybe ଭାବୁଛ କଣ ହିଁ feedback ହଉଛି ତା କିଏ ଶୁଣୁଛି ତା କଥା, then you are not getting at least that ଏ ଯୋଉ ଗୋଟେ ତମର improvement area ତମେ ଭାବୁଛ ତମର ସେଇଟା ଭଲ feedback, you can improve a lot. That also you will not get if you are not accepting anything. So anything anyone telling about you, you should accept. You should have guts to accept. ନିଜର ଶକ୍ତି ଥିବା ଦରକାର ଗ୍ରହଣ କରିବା ପାଇଁ, ନିଜର ଇଚ୍ଛା ଥିବା ଦରକାର ତମେ ଯେକୌଣସି ଜିନିଷ ଗ୍ରହଣ କରିବା ପାଇଁ. Transmission of evaluative or corrective information about an action, event or process. That is feedback. There are some definitions of meaning. Feedback provides people with an opportunity to learn from others. This is one opportunity to learn from others. That means, as I told, I'm giving you so many things. So what you are you are accepting few things and you are learning from that. You are improving yourself. If I don't give feedback, if I don't tell you, ତମର ନିଜର ଯେ ତମକୁ ବହୁତ ଭଲ ପାଆନ୍ତି, ତମ ଘରେ କିମ୍ବା ତମ ଟିଚର ହୁଅନ୍ତୁ, ତମର ପ୍ୟାରେଣ୍ଟସ ହୁଅନ୍ତୁ, they're giving you continuous feedback because they like you and you are learning from that. You are observing that. Sharing knowledge and skills helps team members grow and develop faster. This is key to promoting an environment of continuous improvement. Less obvious is that this interaction also benefits the persons providing the feedback. Whoever giving the feedback and whoever receiving the feedback, it's benefiting both. Giving feedback is also an art and skill. Receiving feedback is also an art, also a skill. What you are receiving, what you are giving, how you are receiving. So both are equally important. And there are some strategies for giving effective feedback, actionable feedback. Give timely feedback, use tactfully, use tact, make it clear, be specific, be aware of any imbalance in power. Suppose the modem conversation. I found that you are doing well, you are very sincere, you are coming timely and you are doing it. So I should tell good about that. Then and there, when I observed, when it came to me, I cannot wait for 3 days, 4 days, 5 days. So that means timely feedback. Whenever mm, you are feeling that this is good, you tell about that. You say about that. You don't need to wait for something. That is timely feedback. Use tactful, but don't sugarcoat anything. ଆମେ ଯଦି ତମକୁ ଯୋଉଟା ଏକ୍ସାମ୍ପଲ ଦଉଥିଲି ତମେ ଲୁଣ ପକେଇବା କଥା. You are telling the same thing in a good way, but it depends on how you are telling. Suppose ତମେ କହିବ କଣ ଏଟା ନାଇଁଛି କଣ ଭଲ ଲୁଣ ପଡିନି. But at the same time you are telling the same thing you are telling, but in a different tone, different language, different script. ସବୁ ବଢିଆ ହେଇଛି ତରକାରୀଟା ଟିକେ ଅଧିକା ଲୁଣ ପଡିଥିଲେ ଭଲ ହେଇଥାନ୍ତା. That means what? You are telling the same thing, but you are using a tactic so that the other person, whoever is preparing, they will not feel bad. So that is one strategy to give a constructive feedback. Make it clear. ଆମେ ଯାହା କହିବାକୁ ଚାହୁଁଛ ସେଟା କ୍ଲିୟର ରହିବା ଦରକାର. Clarity ଥିବା ଦରକାର. ତମର ଦରକାର ମେନ୍ ଆଇଟମ ହଉଛି ତମର କିଛି ଲୁଣ ପଡିବା ଦରକାର. You have to tell it clearly. You have to specify it. Be specific. Be aware of any imbalance in power. ତମେ କାହାକୁ କହୁଛ କଣ କହୁଛ ଭାବିବାର ଦରକାର. So these are the strategy, how you are telling, what you are telling, and very specifically you have to tell what you are telling. And you should also see the power, designation, how senior it is, what you are telling, what to whom you are telling. All these things you are to aware of it. Some strategy you have to follow. There are some characteristics of feedback. What are the characteristics? When you give some feedback, some characteristics of constructive feedback, specific feedback, measurable, sensible, balanced, applicable, not great focus. Constructive feedback is something, suppose you want to improve. Same example again. You are giving feedback to your mother that to put some salt. That is a constructive feedback. So once you will put some salt in the curry, then it will be more tasty. You are giving some constructive feedback and you are giving some solution. Try to offer solution, not just identify problem. ତମେ ଖାଲି ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ କହିଲେ ହବନି. ତମେ ଖାଲି କହିବ ଅଲଣା ହେଇଛି But how you will make it tasty? You can tell the same thing to your mother. Add some salt, then mix it, then serve it. Then you are giving a solution. You will feel good. Constructive feedback means you are giving a solution how to resolve it. And you are at the same time you are improving the current situation. So that is constructive. You are positively giving something and you want to improve it. Specific. Specific is what exactly you are trying to say. Say specifically that feedback should point a specific problem and include a specific example of solution being recommended. So what exactly you are trying to say? What is your feedback? What is your problem? So you have to tell specifically, exclusively that. Measurable. Measurable is whatever you are telling, whatever you are suggesting, that should measure. Suppose you are saying to your mother that you have to add some salt. How much salt? How much କେତେ ଅଲଣା ହେଇଛି, କେତେ ଲୁଣ ପଡିଛି, କେତେ ପଡିବ. So you have to give some idea. If you are telling ଅଲଣା, କେତେ ଅଲଣା ହେଇଛି, ପୁରା ଲୁଣ ପଡିନି କି ନ ପଡିଛି, କଣ ହେଇଛି, ଜାଣିବା ଦରକାର. So whatever you are telling, it should be quantifiable, measurable. Sensitive. Avoid negative language. ଗାଳି ଦବନି କିମ୍ବା ଜଣକୁ ବାଧିଲା ଭଳିଆ କଥା କହିବନି. Avoid negative language. Keep recommendation and comments on a positive note. Be mindful of feedback that focus only on praise, rewards, and punishment. ଜଣକୁ ତମେ ସପୋଜ ପ୍ରଶଂସା କରୁଛ କିମ୍ବା ତାକୁ ଗୋଟେ ନେଗେଟିଭ ପଏଣ୍ଟ ଦଉଛ, then you have to tell something that that person is motivated. You cannot use the wrong word, cannot use the negative language. Balance. Suppose you have to tell something, a bad feedback, a wrong feedback, negative feedback. So you have to add it with your positive note. You are telling your mother that ତରକାରୀରେ ଲୁଣ କମ ହେଇଛି. At the same time, you are telling that she always does well. And ତମେ କେମିତି ତାଙ୍କ ତରକାରୀ ସବୁବେଳେ ଭଲ ଲାଗେ ତମେ ସେଟା କହିବାର ଅଛି. No, you are balancing the good and bad. You are not only pointing the mistake. So you are balancing the strength and weakness. What good, what bad. You are telling both. Applicable. Can the student apply the feedback to similar content? That means whatever you are telling, whether that is justifiable, applicable. ତମେ କହୁଛ ଲୁଣ ପକେଇବା ପାଇଁ ଲୁଣଟା ପଡିପାରିବ କି ନାହିଁ. ସପୋଜ କେତେଟା ଜିନିଷରେ ଲୁଣ ପଡିଲେ ବି ଭଲ ଲାଗିବନି, କେତେଟା ଜିନିଷରେ ଲୁଣ ପଡିଲେ ବି ଭଲ ଲାଗିବ. ସେ ଅନୁସାରେ ତମେ applicable ହବ କି ନାହିଁ. Your feedback is someone can use or not. You have to see. That is applicability. The student can apply the feedback. Suppose ତମେ ଜଣେ ଟିଚର ଅଛ, ତମେ କ୍ଲାସରେ କହୁଛ, କ୍ଲାସରେ ଫିଡବ୍ୟାକ୍ ଦଉଛ ପିଲାଙ୍କୁ. Suppose ଗୋଟେ ସବଜେକ୍ଟ ତମେ ପଢଉଛ and you are giving some feedback to some student and those students are following your feedback. What is applicable, what is not. Suppose ତମ କ୍ଲାସ ପଢୁଛ ଗ୍ରାମାର, ତମେ ଫିଡବ୍ୟାକ୍ ଦେଲ ଯେ କୌଣସି ଷ୍ଟୁଡେଣ୍ଟ ଗ୍ରାମାରରେ ଭଲ କରିନାହାନ୍ତି. ତମେ ଏଠୁ କିଛି ପିଲାଙ୍କୁ ତାଙ୍କୁ ଇଭାଲୁଏଟ କଲ ତାଙ୍କୁ ଫିଡବ୍ୟାକ୍ ଅଛି ବଟ୍ କଣ ଭଲ କରିନାହାନ୍ତି କଣ କଲେ ସେମାନେ ହବ ସପୋଜ ହ୍ୟାଣ୍ଡ ରାଇଟିଂ ଉପରେ ଫିଡବ୍ୟାକ୍ କେତେଟା ପିଲାଙ୍କୁ ଦିଟା ପିଲାଙ୍କୁ ତମେ ହ୍ୟାଣ୍ଡ ରାଇଟିଂ ଉପରେ ଫିଡବ୍ୟାକ୍ ହ୍ୟାଣ୍ଡ ରାଇଟିଂ କେମିତି ତାଙ୍କର ଇମ୍ପ୍ରୁଭ ହବ ମାନେ ହସ୍ତାକ୍ଷର କେମିତି ଲେଖିବେ କୋଉ ଲେଟର ଗୁଡା ତାଙ୍କର ଖରାପ ହଉଛି if you are giving some feedback then they will try to correct those letters and they apply in the next task so that is applicable whatever you are saying whether those people can apply or not so you have to see that the feedback is applicable or not a grade focus so you cannot focus on grade whatever you are getting from school a grade b grade c grade you have to focus their knowledge when a grade is given the most of the student it is the end of learning effective feedback is not tied to a grade however it is tied to descriptor indicator or high quality of exemplary work so that means whenever you are giving feedback you should focus on their knowledge learning not the grade otherwise what the students will think what the other person will think grade means done. Everything is complete. So these are the characteristics of feedback. Main characteristics of feedback is constructive feedback. It should be specific, it should be measurable, sensitive. You can remember this word, then you can elaborate it. You can write it. We'll understand different types of feedback. Suppose ତମେ ଜଣକୁ appreciate କରିବାକୁ ଚାହୁଁଛ that kind of feedback is appreciation feedback. ତମେ ଜଣକୁ ଭଲ ଜଣେଇବାକୁ ଚାହୁଁଛ ତାଙ୍କୁ encourage କରିବାକୁ ଚାହୁଁଛ encourage feedback ଦିଆଯାଏ encourage କରିବା ପାଇଁ ସପୋଜ ତମର ଗୋଟେ ବଡ ଫ୍ୟାକ୍ଟ୍ରି ଅଛି ଯୋଉଥିରେ କି କିଛି ଜିନିଷ ପ୍ରଡକ୍ସନ କିଛି ସେଲ୍ସ ଟିମ୍ ଅଛନ୍ତି ଯୋଉମାନେ ତମର ପ୍ରଡକ୍ଟକୁ ନେଇକି ମାର୍କେଟରେ ବିକୁଛନ୍ତି and you give that feedback to the sales team. Suppose you know that if you tell something good, the team will be encouraged. That kind of feedback is encouragement given for encouragement to encourage the team. ତମେ ଦେଖିଛ କ୍ରିକେଟ ମ୍ୟାଚରେ ଲୋକ ବସିକି ଗ୍ୟାଲେରୀରେ ତାଳି ମାରନ୍ତି କାହିଁକି ନା ପ୍ଲେୟାର ଟିକେ ଏନକରେଜ ହେବେ that kind of feedback is given for encouragement. There is some feedback you have to appreciate. You have to appreciate the person, the player. Evaluation feedback. Evaluation feedback, you have to evaluate. If you are interested in your teammates' professional development, evaluation feedback is extremely important. To provide evaluation feedback, you first need to set goals, benchmark, and timelines. Evaluation against what? The goal. ତମର evaluate ତମର କେତେ percentage mark ଅଛି କେବେ ଜାଣିବା ତମେ exam ଦେଲା ପରେ ଜାଣିବା ତେଣୁ evaluation ତମେ କେତେବେଳେ କରିବ ଯେତେବେଳେ you have a target you have a goal you have a benchmark the past 10 ତାଙ୍କର board ପରୀକ୍ଷା ହଉଛି that is one evaluation after evaluation you will understand who are getting first class who are getting second class third class like that so that is evaluation feedback coaching feedback coaching feedback mostly given by the coach suppose you are You have a coach who is coaching you, and that coach is giving you some feedback. That kind of feedback is known as coaching feedback. For example, in any team, you have a mentor, you have a coach. So they are continuously telling, they are giving best example, they are giving good example how you can follow them. That type of coaching feedback is required to promote, to encourage, to see the performance of the team. So that is coaching feedback mostly given by the coach and the mentor. Forward feedback is something is it's a futuristic feedback. Suppose you are going to do a plan, going to do some project, going to do some action, and your boss is giving some feedback that if you do in this way, then it will be good. ମାନେ ଯୋଉ ଜିନିଷଟା ତମେ କରିନ, then you are preparing some better way, better feedback. If you do this, do that, then it will be good. It will go get some good result. So forward feedback is you are planning ahead of time. You are planning advance. You're planning your feedback before you actually act on that. Mainly, what are the different types of feedback? Informal feedback, formal feedback, critical feedback. Informal feedback is something which is very informal. ତମେ କାମ କରୁଛ ତମ ପାଖକୁ ତମ ବସ୍ ଆସିଗଲେ ତମ ପିଠରେ ହାତ ମାରିଦେଲେ ବଢିଆ କାମ କରୁଛ ବା ତମେ ଗୋଟେ ମ୍ୟାଚ୍ ଦେଖିଲ ଟିଭିରେ ତମେ ବାହାରେ କ୍ୟାଣ୍ଟିନରେ ଚାହା ପିଇଲା ବେଳେ କିମ୍ବା କଫି ପିଇଲା ବେଳେ ତମେ ତିନି ଚାରି ଜଣ ସାଙ୍ଗ ସହିତ ଡିସ୍କସ କରୁଛ କିଏ କଣ ଖେଳିଲା କିଏ କଣ ଭଲ ବ୍ୟାଟିଂ କଲା କିଏ ବୋଲିଂ କଲା these are informal feedback. You are not telling the person who is acting, but you are discussing. You are actually discussing and giving some comment for the people who made some action. Formal feedback is directly you are telling something, you are giving some comments to the person who is acting. So that is formally you are giving written or you are commenting. Suppose in your organization, formal feedback is something you get a mail quarterly or every month from your boss, from your manager, saying that you are good or bad. So that is a formal feedback. But every day your manager is meeting you and telling something good or bad, that is informal. So formal feedback is always recorded, informal feedback is not recorded. Critical feedback. Critical feedback is something where you have to comment, you have to give some negative feedback. Suppose you have to tell a person something bad, some negative thing. That person is not good or you don't like the work or you have to fire that person, you have to recruit another person. So that kind of feedback is given privately. You have to avoid the noise, you have to tell the others. That type of feedback is given separately, privately to the person. Sometimes you have seen formative feedback and summative feedback. Formative feedback and summative feedback mainly you have seen in the school. Formative assessment, summative assessment. Formative assessment is if the teacher is taking the assessment of the student on a regular basis, on weekly basis. Every Saturday you have an exam in the class exam, and or every day or every alternate day. So regularly the teacher is taking some assessment to understand your growth. Because you have something not working. So your teacher is actually giving you the task and you are performing on a daily basis, and your teacher is actually conducting a test that is formative, and on a daily basis he or she, your teacher, is observing and giving you the feedback. Summative assessment at the end of the academic year or end of that project, end of that unit, end of that semester. So you will face something which is what you have performed. So both the feedback is important. Summative assessment is at the end of that unit and formative assessment is a regular basis. So this kind of feedback you have seen. These are type of feedback: formal, informal, critical. Under critical, you can say negative feedback. And there are other feedback like formative and summative. These are different type. You can write the feedback type under this heading. In the next class, we'll understand the span of control. That is tomorrow, same time, and that will be your last class. Span of control is something, the size, the employees, a person, a manager, an organization, how many person can hold under them. That is span of control. The meaning of span of control. You'll understand that tomorrow. And tomorrow we'll finish that quickly, then we'll have a quick recap what we studied, and we'll try to finish everything tomorrow. Thank you.